Hey everyone, Pecan here, still stuck in the back rooms. Please send help, or food, anything would be appreciated. Not more entities, don't send async either. Please do not send async, they will just make things worse. But by now I feel like we all know just how dangerous async can be. But of course I'm talking about Kane Pixels series, which just released a new video, Damage Control, which I can already just assume that it's async trying to cover their tracks with Peter coming back after being labeled as dead, as missing. They held a funeral for him. That is just, it's so sad. And having seen him come back, and then I guess async turn him away to try to cover up their tracks, it's just heartbreaking. I feel for Peter. So async is just doing what, giant companies do when they, lose somebody in the bathrooms. This is Mark and Marvin reporting that they found Peter. Why did he do that though? Why would Mark call for support? They just found their friend. They found, well, Marvin's friend. They were pretty close, I believe. I could be wrong there. Oh, they heard the shot. That's horrible. But, I mean, can you just imagine the trauma that Peter's gone through, knowing that his family thinks he's dead. He's been abandoned by the company that sent him in here. He's in a horrifying environment. I mean, he's been alone in the backrooms for how long? And finally reunites with the people that he went in there originally with. And one of them tries to rat on him to async. Dude, it's insane. What? Did he just hit the gritty? What was that? Oh no, it's just crazy camera. Oh my gosh. He's making a break for it. Is that Peter without his suit on? Why are so many people in the back without their suits on? I guess they're in the control area. Is he gonna get out? If he gets out of async in the back rooms, that's gonna be bad news for async. Their whole operation is going to get a lot more public because they just had somebody who was missing come back to life and has a few stories to tell. It's kind of crazy that this has turned into more of the human element becoming the monster, the entity, the thing to be afraid of, rather than the entity that we saw in Kane Pixel's first video. We got people scrambling. They're panicking. He is running. I would be too. You kidding me? He probably got some, enhanced cardio training in the backrooms running from entities. I mean, props on Peter for being able to survive alone in the backrooms for so long. He shut the door on him? That's crazy. I hope he gets out. I'm rooting for Peter here.
I'd like to thank you all once again for your patience on this. It has been a stressful 15 hours for all of us here, and while he cannot currently be with us, Dr. Beck sends his apologies regarding the numerous inconveniences caused by our decision to keep you here overnight. Now, it appears that the situation has reached a point of some stability. We're still looking into a few things, but I feel that we can now properly address what occurred without running into speculation. What happened last night
is this after Peter died?
Should not have happened. Not here, not with us. What occurred was a gross misunderstanding that was the result of some severe information mismanagement.
This is such a PR move. A gross misunderstanding.
I believe most of you still have an incomplete idea
Peter
of what took place last night. Before I fill you in, I need to address the fact that there has been information withheld from many of you on the project.
Oh wow.
Now these choices were not made lightly and were done for only the best of reasons.
Yeah, we left Peter in the backrooms for the best of reasons.
That following the events of last night, it has been proven to us that that method of conducting ourselves was not viable.
Big surprise.
So I'm coming to you now to correct
it wasn't viable for Peter.
Begin delivering the authentic order of events as we understand them.
My idea of events is that
March 1st, a team of 4 researchers was sent into the complex to conduct a routine layout analysis.
Right, and then Peter goes missing. He comes back in the missing person or the presentation video But then he
12:25
disappears
p.m.,
again?
the group realized that they had lost track of Tench while traversing the previously accessed branch of hallways. As you'll recall, this prompted an immediate withdrawal of response back to standard, followed by several days of significant search efforts. However,
at least they
those
looked for him,
ultimately
guys.
did nothing, and as far as any of us were concerned, Tench had simply vanished, leaving no physical trace.
Did I get his name wrong?
Now, for obvious reasons, that wasn't something that we could disclose to the public. So, roughly 2 weeks following his disappearance, our security team was forced to put together a more acceptable cause of death that would keep attention away from this institute and provide closure to the family.
They're just admitting to a cover-up, like a full cover-up?
Common knowledge, I presume. Not all of you were with us at the time of the incident. However, you're certainly aware of the effects it has had on our internal procedures over the past few months.
Yeah, we're sorry that we covered up his death, you
That was
know.
where Tench's involvement in this came to an end. Or, at least, that's what we assumed. Because on May 8th, at approximately 5:30 p.m., a motion alert was sent out from the complex.
This is when he
which was
came
closed
back
off at the
in
time.
the presentation video.
One of our senior engineers
Right?
was sent down to assess the situation and discovered a male dressed in hazard gear who we were able to identify as Peter Tench.
Peter Tench, okay, no, I was
Immediately
Peter,
following
okay.
this discovery, Tench was moved to a secure room on this floor where, over the following days, a select group of doctors were able to administer a panel of tests.
How did he get back in? Why did you send him back in there?
To Peter in the 2 months he'd been gone.
What happened?
Those tests yielded very little useful information. By all measures, Peter appeared to be in excellent health. However, we were still provided one very useful tool.
Yeah, he basically
in
went forward
understanding,
2 months in time. That's crazy.
how the situation unfolded from his perspective.
What a terrifying
Some
experience.
of you may recall that on the day of his disappearance,
Me and the
Tench
boys in the
was his
Backrooms.
team's designated camera operator. Well, when we recovered him, he still had that camera in his possession.
And it still worked after like a
In fact,
time
had documented
jump?
The entire ordeal.
Huh?
The footage will be presented in its entirety later today.
That's a
However,
nice
for purposes
camera,
of this
dude.
discussion, I will only be highlighting key events.
It will withstand a time, I don't even know, time anomaly hallway?
This is the hallway where Peter was last seen.
That faded hallway.
They're not in view, but you can
I
hear
told him
the
back
others
then not to
walking
go
behind.
in. He's still dead.
Now, as he approaches the
Silly
bridge to
little
the
Peter.
right here, pay close attention to the audio.
Guys, can you hear this?
It was a weird sound. I mean, I would be curious too. Like, these people are like, what? Like, they're scientists, you know, they're curious. They want to discover things. So it's obvious that Peter would, you know, want to investigate whatever this was. Me personally, I wouldn't, you know, even in the name of science.
Now,
Must have been
I'd like to
terrifying.
save the discussion for afterwards, but what you just saw is what we believe to be the moment that Peter
jumped
was
in time.
instantaneously transported 2
2
months forward in time.
2 months, dude. A lot happens in 2 months. His funeral happened in 2 months.
Tench proceeds back out into the hallway in search of his team, but it is without any indication of their presence.
I'm terrified.
The next 30 or so minutes of the tape follow a fairly panicked Tench
But if
as
it
he
was 2
attempts to
months
navigate his way back
forward,
to the
what if-
threshold.
I don't know.
He does obviously find his way back.
Yeah.
However, the threshold appears not as he knows it, but as it appeared on the date of May 8th.
Weird
This
timeline.
ties us back to the moment when we recovered him. So,
Very
to summarize,
strange
from
experience
his
for
point of
Peter.
view, he had only
But then
been
where,
inside the
how does he get
complex
back
for several
into the
hours.
complex? How's he
So to
back into
him,
the
all of
complex?
the new developments surrounding
Why'd you
the
guys put him
threshold
back in
were
there?
completely foreign. Luckily, though, as I already mentioned, there were people available to manage the situation as it unfolded. And over the course of the following days, we were able
but then how did it go so wrong?
properly sit down with Peter
Whoa.
and work with him to gain a collective understanding of what had happened. However, there was still the very significant
trying to
fact that
figure
Mr.
out, I
Tench
guess,
was considered
how
legally
he jumped in
deceased
time?
as a result of the cover story, and reversing that would be no easy feat. He understood this
See-
and was willing to cooperate while we looked for a way to reintegrate him without
Gosh.
raising
I mean, it would be
suspicion.
pretty traumatic for like the family and everything, but they'd be happy.
Taking quite a bit longer than we had anticipated. And all the while, Peter was sucked out here, waiting idly by. We did our best to keep him
Then how did-
engaged, but it is hard to combat the effects of prolonged sensory deprivation on the human brain. And as a
You just
result,
kept him prisoner, essentially.
Peter's mental state took a toll. Not to a degree that was outright concerning at first, but around the end of week 2, We noticed that he was starting to exhibit a number of behaviors common in
Maybe
patients
don't keep him
diagnosed with
locked up.
paranoid schizophrenia. Though we don't have reason
No
to believe that
surprise.
Mr. Tench was afflicted with that condition. Whatever the case, while he didn't express it outright, from what we could gather, he appeared to have deluded himself into believing that he was still inside some sort of illusion created by the complex. And that
I wouldn't
we were
trust
secretly
ASYNC either.
looking to
I'd probably
do him
be
harm.
thinking the same thing, maybe. I mean, it's very
This all came
rational
to a
thing.
head on the night of the 22nd, when, while Tench was finally about to be transferred to a temporary above-ground residence, he broke away from us and, using stolen credentials, forced his way back into the complex, where he would go undiscovered until just last night.
Okay.
When he ambushed
Alright, that
and
makes
finally
sense, I
attacked
guess. I mean, do I... But
in
what does
room
it?
14C,
Does it?
leaving Dr. Bloom in
Do I
critical
trust
condition.
ASYNC's explanation after they covered it up initially?
We presume that during the Jerusalem days Tench spent in the complex, he let go of the idea that he could somehow escape through an alternate threshold, but still held on to the belief that all of us here were working to trap him in some way.
You
despite
did trap
our
him for a
actions
long
saying
time, and then he
exactly the opposite.
developed all those problems.
Immediately after firing a single shot from the Remington 870 to Dr. Bloom's side, Tench fled the scene and headed to the threshold outpost, where he would turn the weapon on several more of you while progressing into standard and through the lower offices.
So, did he get
The
out at
abrupt
this
and
point?
chaotic nature of the unfolding situation, it took our security team several moments longer than it ideally should have to figure out what was happening. But thankfully, while Tench was passing through one of the empty labs
What
next to
happened to
storage,
Tench?
Dr.
What happened?
Maxwell was able to act quickly and managed to
Oh my gosh.
disarm him, accidentally
The gun went
discharging
off
the
in the
weapon
ceiling?
into the ceiling in the process, though. However, Tench still managed to avoid apprehension, fleeing into the maintenance wing and evading our
Yeah,
security
get out of there,
staff by taking
Peter.
the freight elevator to the surface.
Ooh.
Now, this situation could have played out very badly, given the potential number of witnesses around the building at the time.
Yeah, witnesses is the problem.
Luckily, for everyone involved,
Sure,
as far as we
ASYNC.
can tell, Tench was not noticed as he exited the property. Around
That
5
is their
minutes
major
later,
concern.
our security team made
Not
it to
that they
the ground
trapped this
floor
man for
and
months
began
down
further
after
sweep in the
telling
direction
everybody that it was
of the
dead,
hillside
and then he
where
developed
cameras had last observed
horrible mental health
Tench.
problems and paranoia and all of that. And
Now, there's no easy way to say this other than to just say it. I am terribly sorry to inform you all, but Mr. Tench was found deceased.
That's
halfway down the
ASYNC.
hillside.
that was ASYNC. ASYNC did it,
The result
100%.
of an extreme blow to the head.
Extreme blow to the
It
head.
appears that while he was running through some brush, he failed to anticipate a sudden dip in the ground, and
I don't
tragically
believe it.
fell forward into a large
I don't
rock.
believe it. I don't
Given
believe
the
it for a second.
circumstances, it was not something any of us could have anticipated or prevented.
Oh yeah, I'm
The
sure it could have been
tragedy of
prevented.
The entire
Nope.
situation undoubtedly remains. But Dr. Tench, regardless of how troubled he was in
Nope,
his
I've
final
already-
days, was a brilliant man who gave his all to this project. He would certainly not want us hindering it in his name. What we're doing here is so much bigger than any one person.
Yeah,
It is
sure,
the
so
work
that you're
of
gonna
a
keep it
unified
covered up.
effort, and we need to ensure that that is never lost
I mean, you don't
sight
have to
of.
tell his family about it now because he actually is dead now, right, huh?
Notion that Peter is and has been deceased.
So
That
they're
is
just gonna
done,
keep it covered up.
and there is nothing more to be extracted.
Wait, what was that? Hold on. Let me go back through that real quick. What is this? The phone? I don't believe for a second that Peter just died by an accident while running. No, I 100% believe that it was ASYNC. Is that the Five Nights at Freddy's phone? It is. Why is that the Five Nights at Freddy's phone? Hello? Freddy's Pizzeria is in the Backrooms, confirmed, at 3 a.m. Peter didn't deserve that. You know they just kept him locked up because of the whole presentation that was going on, the whole pitch of the usefulness of the Backrooms that they were giving, that ASYNC was giving. ASYNC wanted to sell the idea of the Backrooms. I'm just playing this in slow motion to see what this all is. What? Is that Peter running away? Is that him on, like, just in a street somewhere? Who is that? Is that Peter? Maybe they're still covering it up. Maybe he's not actually dead and they're just trying to cover it up more while they're looking for him. I don't know who this is. It might be Peter, it might not be. And I don't know the time frame of this. It might be before they claim that he died or after, and might not be dead. But my thoughts are that Peter didn't want to go along with it. He wanted to see his family probably. He wanted them to know that he wasn't dead, but they kept him down there because they didn't want it getting out that there were these dangers of the backrooms, of the situation that ASYNC didn't have handled. This anomaly of jumping forward in time 2 months that they didn't understand yet, that would definitely throw a wrench in them selling the idea of the backrooms as a living facility, as a storage facilities, all of these things that ASYNC wanted to do in the presentation video that kind of got offset a bit because of Peter's whole situation. So it was easier for them to just sweep it under the rug, to say that he was missing, to say that he was dead, to say that none of it really happened. I think ASYNC with that whole report was telling the truth in the beginning about his initial disappearance. I mean, obviously they have the footage to back that up, but then when they talk about what happened in the missing person video, in the presentation video, when Peter comes back, I think that's when they start lying about what they were actually doing and planning with Peter. We don't know if they were planning to move him to an above ground facility to eventually reunite him with his family or tell people that he wasn't dead. We don't know that. Maybe Peter was escaping, trying to fight for his life, because they're lying. I mean, looking back at the reunion video,
That's what they did. They took my life from me, Marv. Everyone thinks I'm fucking
it doesn't
dead.
sound like Peter was going along with ASYNC's plan of keeping him locked down
Can you please put down the
in a
gun?
room down in this level for months,
Tell me.
for weeks, or it is what, like, it was like 2 weeks or so. Still sounds like. And then if you put into Peter's perspective, this interaction particularly, it kind of justifies or validates this idea that they are still trying to keep him locked away, still trying to keep it covered up. And then we have Backrooms Overflow, which is a very short video between reunion and this damage control video that kind of gives us radio talk about talks between the Soviets and America and a land debt, land lease debt, which I guess, I mean, is the reason that ASYNC is working so hard for this new storage and I don't know, this whole idea of living and storing things in the backrooms, because of maybe it's just something to do with this land lease debt they're talking about. So if ASYNC has the solution, quote unquote, with the backrooms for this land lease debt in their eyes, it would be, you know, it would be a very high stakes issue for the company to jeopardize by letting Peter and his story get out, if they're promising a very safe and effective solution to this problem. But of course, let me know your thoughts on this video, on the series, and everything as a whole. Who do you think this person is? Do you think Peter is still alive? Do you think he's dead? Do you believe ASYNC when they said his death was just an accident of tripping on a rock in the woods? I don't know. I mean, do you believe that Peter went along with ASYNC? I don't think so, but let me know any thoughts you have down in the comments. But just the whole storyline that Kane Pixels is making with this is so investing. Like, it's so amazing. I can tell why that this is a lot of people's main source, like, for the backrooms in terms of content. This is just so good. By the way, here's a few people that definitely wouldn't leave me stranded in the backrooms. Our channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me in this channel and not keeping me locked away in the backrooms. Thank you. By the way, thank you all for joining today's adventure in backrooms damage control. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And of course, hope you have a great rest of your day. And remember, courage and determination, any adventure is possible. And hope to see you on our next one. Bye-bye.